Secretary Clinton, I'm not going to dwell on this, but because you spend quite a bit of time on it, but I didn't vote for the treaty, but the administration almost hooked me with the promises that it made. And there's been a lot of discussion as to whether the promises are being kept or not. And I don't think it comes as a surprise to you that there are a good number of people on my side of the aisle that feel that the promises are not being kept. And the good chairman of this committee acted in very good faith, I think, in soliciting votes and making commitments. The president made commitments in writing. So when you take the question for the record for the DOE, I don't think I'd focus on so much as what can be done as to whether or not the commitments are being kept. So that's my 2 cents worth. Moving to Iran for just a minute. As you try to work through this Rubik's Cube and try to get a handle on this thing and try to get things ratcheted down, it's always best to start with what's the other side thinking. And you read this stuff and you just it's hard to comprehend why they continue to push the envelope and why they continue to pursue something that everyone in the world doesn't want them to do. What's your theory on that? Is it homegrown politics? What is it that is motivating them to continue to do this?
Well, Senator, just first, very briefly on the question about nuclear modernization, I will certainly provide you with information that I hope makes it as clear as possible that we took our obligations seriously and we are fulfilling them. There may be debate about, how fast we're going, where we're doing it. I don't have any expertise on, but I want to reassure you that certainly I acted in good faith, and so I do believe.
I believe you did act in good faith, but the comfort level needs to be raised.
Well,
I can assure you.
I will do what I can. I'll have the answers delivered with macaroni and cheese and other comfort food that I hope makes that case too.
That'll get you everywhere.
Well. Thank you, Senator. Look, I know that last week the Director of National Intelligence, former General Clapper, the Director of the CIA, former General Petraeus, the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs, General Dempsey, plus Secretary Panetta, all testified in front of other committees here in the Senate that it is the conclusion of our Intelligence Committee that the Iranians have not yet made the decision to produce a nuclear weapon. Now, the explanation that I think came from those very credible sources, patriots all, is that there's a continuing debate going on inside the Iranian regime, and it's an especially complicated debate for anybody on the outside, and I dare say some people who are on the inside to understand, because there is a lot of power struggle going on. There are personality clashes. The supreme leader, who is the head of the clerical presence institutionally within Iran, the Revolutionary Guard and the Quds Force, the parliament and the president. We just get a lot of static in intelligence reporting and analysis from not just our own sources, but international sources. So I think there is a debate. There's no doubt they're pursuing nuclear power. They have a right under the NPT as a signatory to pursue peaceful civil nuclear power. And there is no doubt that a lot of what has been discovered by the IAEA points in the direction of a nuclear weapons program. And there is no doubt that they raise all kinds of suspicions by, putting a lot of their work and their nuclear program into very remote, inaccessible places, and recently denying the IAEA the right to investigate. So I think it's understandable, Senator, why you and why millions of people who are concerned and worried about this are trying to discern what they want and what they're trying to achieve. And that's one of the reasons why I support our dual track of intense pressure and of being willing to engage, because I want to gather as much information, not only about actions, but about intentions. And we have very deep ongoing consultations with Israel, with the Gulf Arabs, with the Europeans, with others. There isn't anybody of any stature in the world, in any government, that really is not concerned about what the Iranians are doing. And it is a source of constant discussion. So what we are intending to do is to ratchet up these sanctions as hard and fast as we can, follow what's going on inside Iran, which seems to be a lot of economic pressures that we think do have an impact on decision-making, continuing to be vigilant, responding quickly to threats like the threat about the Straits of Hormuz, leaving absolutely no question in the Iranian mind as to what we would do should they take any foolhardy action, having aircraft carriers going in and out of the Gulf, consulting and planning with a lot of our partners. So that's the state of play right now. But the question you ask is a question that's asked, every day in the intelligence community and in, foreign affairs agencies around the world.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. And I would think that someone in their decision-making authority in Iran would look back at recent history in Iraq and look what Saddam Hussein did. What a reckless thing to do, to take the world and make them believe something that isn't even necessarily true. So thank you very much for your analysis. I sincerely appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Senator Risch.